Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Madbaldman's Garage. So, why am I mad today? I'm glad you asked. I'm mad because I just spent the last 14 minutes doing the video that I'm getting ready to redo with the mic turned off. So I went to preview my little masterpiece, my work of art, and no audio. So while I'm sure you guys are smart enough to figure it out, I thought I'd redo it because, I did say a couple things that maybe you might find worth it. So here it is. Take two. It's like Groundhog Day. Let's do it again. Alright, so here's the frame of the machine that we're going to build today. What we're building is a dual fortune mine layer coupled with a harvester. Added in some extra ammo packs, chameleon, the Colossus engine for the faster reload, 6 small tracks, and a whole bunch of metal. And we're going to come up with something that is just completely badass. Alright, so let's start laying down some pieces. I didn't do quite as good a job this time deconstructing, so you'll have to forgive the pieces that show up and float in there. Alright, so start off with a reinforced ammo pack. There are those floater grater pieces that are going to protect the generator that pops in. Again, there's our small tracks. You can kind of see I've made this kind of C structure here with the lightweight frames. Kind of did the same thing here to tuck in the generator. We're going to do the same thing back here for the engine, the stealth, an extra ammo pack, and the horn. You can't forget the horn. Alright, so there's the cabin. Went with quantum, mainly because it's low profile and easy to cover up. There is one of the stars of our show, the Harvestor. I've got the bottom part, the tracks, and the Harvestor, and those graters painted scorched earth black, and the rest of it is done in digital desert. There is a piece to help set the fortunes on top of. Those things are just badass, man. They shoot these wheels that are stuffed with explosives and have these little fuses that are burning on them. It's so cool. You'll see. Looks like stuff is probably showing up underneath or in the back. There we go. There's the Colossus. I went with the Colossus over the Cheetah because of that 20% reload bonus. I thought it was a little bit more important than getting the invisibility back, but time will tell. So far, I think it's the right decision. There's our chameleon. The horn, you've heard it, you know who it is. Alright, there's our expanded ammo pack. Together, the 2 ammo packs give us 30 pieces of ammo for the fortunes, which is, so far, seems to be pretty sufficient. There's a little barrel to help cover up the back. You can see we're building out the back now. Now I'll kind of roll around to the front here so you can kind of see things as they kind of build up. Start throwing in some truck doors for the sidewall initial to block in the cabin. Throwing down some side pieces, APC side pieces there to kind of build out the lower outer armor. Nothing is one layer here. Way too dangerous out there in the post-apocalyptic world. You know what I'm talking about. There we go. Gonna mirror it on the other side. And then we'll build out, those are hard modules to protect the sides of the fortunes. Some little caps out there to kind of help with the feet of the launcher. Keep those covered up. The Festive Avenger sticker because that's the way to go. This is really important. Like, my last build was the dual retcher. I'm sure you guys watched the video because I know that you guys are all fans of the Madbaldman's Garage. It was a badass build. It really was. The problem was those retchers, man, they were big, bulky, and virtually impossible to cover up. So the battles went one of two ways. Either I kicked ass and took names and people weren't shooting off my retchers, or you know, as soon as I engage the first person, you know, I lose a retcher, engage the second person, lose the second retcher, and then I'm just a target. So I had to get into a spot where I wasn't getting shot up every time. And I tell you what, this is working out pretty good. Kind of build from the back forward. Notice that we use just a rear door because that is just solid armor here in the madbaldman's garage. Kind of build out those side rounders. Use a roof piece, oddly enough, for the roof. And I say oddly enough, there's my Corno Destros. I say oddly enough because I use the APC rear piece for the front roof. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does here in the madbaldman's garage. Alright, kind of throw those side pieces on there, and voila, there we are. This thing is just a freaking monster, right? There are just no two ways around it. Now, this is a little bit different build here in the madbaldman's garage, because typically I don't do monster builds. I try to kind of keep it real, but I wanted to show you, like, there are literally 6 legendary pieces on this build. Now, 2 of them are the Corno flame horns, right? But we've got double forges, a Harvestor, and the Apollo kicking back there. So I'm just amazed that this power score is not significantly above 10,000, because this thing packs so much of a punch. I'll show you. Another kind of thing to notice here, I am over on my tonnage. And that has a small effect on max speed, a slightly larger but still small effect on acceleration, and I'm okay with that. As it turns out, I'm 279 kilograms over. You know, my tonnage was 10,010, so I am incurring a little bit of a negative hit there, but I'm totally cool with it. Does not affect performance, and the extra armor is well worth it. Alright, so let's take a look at this thing kind of from the battlefield perspective. Let's do a couple test drops, see what I'm talking about here. Now, I don't have the ghost cabin because it's just so hard to cover up, so there is no bonus for coming out of invisibility, which is why I'm not jumping in and then jumping out. But I want to kind of stop here and kind of show you what the fortunes can do. I don't know why they call them fortunes, but it's telling. I think it's applicable. So basically, it's these wheels stuffed full of explosives roll along the ground and blow up whatever they hit. Notice that one volley of that, you know, we're rocking 1800, you know, durability, but look at that. Took out a track, took out all of the side armor, right? So now, if I were to come in there and grind on this becomes a lot less of a grind than you would have thought, right? So that's one way to use it, which is drive around, not really use the Harvestor, and just throw a bunch of wheel mines out there. And the other way, just a good old-fashioned grind, right? I don't want to do this because we're over 10,000 kilograms here, right? And watch what this thing does when it hits its speed. Watch the number that pops up. That's 467. I mean, that's damn near 500, right? So do not discount the ram and grind capability of this, because it'll chew you up, right? It will just chew you up. I love those things. You can see they just roll forever out there. Love them. You can actually kind of launch these things up as well. See how they kind of get tossed up there, and those things roll and they bounce all around, so uneven ground sends them in all sorts of unpredictable ways. They're just fantastic to throw into a crowd. Really great for parties. Alright, so now let's take a look at how I typically use this thing. What I'll do is, I see my victim, yes, you're a victim. I stealth up, and then I'm going to get myself in position. I'm going to roll out a few of those, hit and grind. I'm going to grind until reload, and then I'm going to drop another volley and blow stuff up. You do have to be careful if you're blowing stuff up too close. You know, like I have 3 ammo packs, so you can see what that did to the front end of the vehicle. But that's about the only thing that does that. So, you know, what I recommend is drop around, grind, um, back up just a smidge before to drop the second round so you don't lose anything up front. I'm just kind of showing you how we can grind, but I want to show you what these things look like. See? Just like little wheels that are spinning. That's so awesome. They're just like little wheels with fuses and explosives in there. That was interesting. I'm glad that popped up. Did you notice those damage things pop up? Um, if you shoot them, right, the initial roll, if you hit friendly fire, if they bounce back and hit you, they won't do any damage. But once they've had a chance to sit and kind of become part of the environment, they can do damage to friendlies. So it's a responsible weapon. You've got to use it responsibly. But damn, the damage that this thing rolls out is just ridiculous. You see, they just kind of roll. They hit a bump and jump out to the side. Like I say, these things are just great for parties. So there it is. This is called the Fortunate One. The F and the O are capitalized. If you want to go look in the exhibition, you drive around, blow stuff up like we do here in the Madbaldman's garage. Highly recommend it. There's actually a few good builds out there in the exhibition that have this combo as well. None as slick as mine, of course. But again, you know, if you're interested in the fortunes, which I would be, these things are significant, even in a single. I've done plenty of fights where I've had one blown off, and you fight the rest of the fight, you know, with one fortune and a harvester, and you are still kicking ass, taking names, and chewing bubblegum. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and click on the subscribe button because we love fans of the Mad Bald Man's Garage. So as always, guys, thanks for taking the time tuning in and listening and watching and learning. And I hope to see you out in the field. All right, who we got? Oh wow, looks like all humans. Anybody coming? What are we doing here, kids? Oh, cool. Sergeant Major Slaughter. I like him. He's a good player. So this is where all the action is, huh? Not bad. You can see that that is just crazy for survival. Wow, that's my second over 10,000 score as well. So this thing can just take it, deal it, It is a great build. It is a lot of fun. You have a lot of options, both melee and, reasonable distance. Um, you got to build this thing. You got to drive it around. You got to have this fun. This is cool.